My name is Alice Szwender Reins, and I am the proud youngest daughter of Kapitan Władysław Szwender, or, as he called me so fondly, Ala or Alicia. He was, will, and always will be my hero. You see the scarf I'm wearing today? It makes sense to the family and friends who know Dad, because we watched Oilers games nonstop. But this year he would have said, Te Barawogi, because they didn't make it. First of all, I would like to say a special thank you to our father for being the man that he was. He was always the one who made sure to thank everyone for even the simplest things. So today, I'm saying thank you. He was an officer and a gentleman. There was something about him that people were always drawn to. As much as people will tell me, oh, he lived a great life, he was 97, he won't suffer anymore. This is one of the hardest things I've had to do. I just miss him so much, as we do, and his presence. I want to walk through the door after a long flight from Florida, see him waiting for me with a smile and saying, after I leave, see you soon, as he always came to the window to wave goodbye to us. As I look back on his life and everything he was and he did, there are so many hats that Dad wore. Soldier, poet, artist, professor, actor, comedian, accountant, caregiver, traveler, patriot, gardener, father, grandfather, I don't know, the list could go on. And he was equally good at everything. But he loved his 35-year career as a mailman, and everyone loved Walter the mailman. He made sure the mail was always delivered through rain, sleet, and snow. And on Christmas Eve, my mom and all of us would wonder if he would ever make it home, as he would stop at all his Polish clients' homes for a visit. He wore so many hats, yet the one that will always stand out were soldier and caregiver. Not only did he devote his life to his country of Poland and the Polish community, he was also a caregiver for our mom and his family. But through his entire life, he was ever so humble. And we were the ones that had to brag about him. My Facebook will actually be really bare now, as it was all about you, Dad. Tatuś never cared about possessions and material things. My mom used to say at home, wyglądasz jak dziad, meaning look like a bum. But she was really just cutely looking at him with a smile. And he would always give her that Walter smirk. Yet, he always wanted his kids to have a good education, a good life, and he made sure of that. I still smile anytime a grandchild would show up. He would walk to his room and return with a Canada Trust envelope saying, for the trip home. His generosity was second to none. And for my friends that he knew and he loved and welcomed everybody to his home, he would refer to even some of my friends like Anya. She wasn't Anya by her married name, she was Hodorska, but he did that with all my friends. And he welcomed everyone into his home. Being the youngest had its benefits, as Dad was just too tired to punish the fifth child. So I got a bit of a break. Sorry, Joanna. But that wasn't always the case. I recall the first trip that they took me to Poland in 1975, and I was sharing a room with Greta, who's sitting over there. I was 12 at the time, and I decided to call the front desk and have them pick up all my clothes for dry cleaning. I think I was locked up for about a week of the trip after that, so I didn't get away with everything. Thank you. He was my favorite teacher. As a young girl, when I couldn't understand multiplication and I would try so hard, he sat down with me one night, and within 3 hours, guess what? I knew how to do math. I don't think the grandchildren were as excited, as they said already, that he would drill math into them on every trip. I don't want to go with Jojo, that's all I remember. Or when I would come over to electronically file his taxes, and he would not let me file them until they matched to the penny what he had calculated, not the computer. He was adamant. Ale nie, to nie pracuje. Oh, or when he delivered apples to the nuns, relentlessly, year after year after year. I'm sure they still have a 10-year supply left in their closets. The countless trips myself and our kids and grandchildren got to go on with him. A not so fond memory of a cross-country trip when he left Mom and I in a hotel room so he could reunite with a war friend for an hour, which turned into a 5-hour visit. Mom was not so happy. He certainly loved all his old war friends. Oh, I am so glad that my parents were able to return to Poland and travel to various countries upon his retirement, as they deserved all of this. Except the trip to Hawaii, where my mom said he actually hid under a tree for 3 weeks from the sun. The beautiful trip to Monte Cassino 3 years ago, where I was his companion. I can't forget us entering a room with 2 single beds jammed together, and Dad sweetly saying, "Gdzie jest twój pokój? Where is your room?" And I responded, "Dad, this is our pokój." Or the night George and him decided to go hit the town in Warsaw, and I'm like, I'm staying in my room. 11:30, there's a knock on my door, and Dad's standing there, "Melduję się do Ali." And I said, "Get back to your room now." Yes, George, it was your fault. Jurek, yeah. When I moved across country a few times, Dad would always say, "The door is always open," and always was. The best blessing for my daughters and I was when we moved back to Edmonton in 99 to 2016. Not only did they help me to raise my daughters, but I also got to spend so many days and nights just living life with them. We watched endless hockey together while Mom chatted in the background. Hockey was probably the best with Dad, as he came up with the funniest names for all the players. Koskinen was Koskinen, and any game that was lost, it was always his fault or the other goalie, Mike Smith. I also got Dad to become a Tampa Bay Lightning fan, because I live in Florida. And I can't even say it now. And Vasilevsky was Vasilkevich, and Kucherov was Kuchernoga, and he would look at me and smile every time he did it. Hockey was more of a comedy show with him. And then he would make jokes. Even when I was in the hospital, I said, "Oh, Jacek was so nice. He was cooking for me." And he said, "Did you find food on the ceiling?" And he always made a joke out of everything he could. How excited was I when my friend Mark Hollick put me in contact with the Edmonton Oilers, and I got to make a dream come true to have Dad do the puck drop in 2019. Yet, through it all, he would smile and just say, "That was nice," as everyone else was going in awe. Going to the bank or Shoppers, his 2 favorite places, people would greet him with a smile and by name, as he always made people feel so special. Even when Dad's health took a turn last December, he still asked me to drive with him and George to a few houses when it was sheer ice rain to drop off gifts to people who have shown their love and kindness to him. He never wanted an act of kindness to go unnoticed. When I lived in Florida, I would try and phone him every day. And if I didn't call one day, he would ask the other children, "I wonder what's wrong with Allah." I could continue with many stories, but I know it's time for me to close. During COVID, I was not able to see Dad for 16 months until May of 2021. Over this past year, I was so lucky to spend 4 months with him. My sister Joanna and I were able to take him to Canmore and Lake Louise, as he so loved the mountains and said it was the best trip. And he was looking forward to our next trip this year, which would never happen. When I stayed with him in November to January, we watched so many movies and listened to so many songs that we even had our own favorite songs. One of them was "Umówiliśmy się na dziewiątą." I even left a note on his plate saying I'd be back May 1st. But I came back and I spent time with him in the hospital. The one other song that became one of his favorites was a song for Pope John Paul II called Barca, which we would usually end our evenings with and I will close today's celebration with. He loved Pope John Paul II. I know he's spending some good time with him right now. And also, I read a book, Pani Muszniska, yours was so beautiful. Polskie dziecko. I tried so hard in the hospital, but I think I've confused myself. I tried. I hope that each and every one of you will carry a very special place in your heart for him. Thank you for giving me life, being my first love. And thank you for being the best role model for all of us. Rest peacefully and say hello to Mama. You sure do deserve it. Our sweet hero, Father. Chwała bohaterom. Thank you very much for coming today.